take us through a very interesting concept. But before we go into it, I would like to seize this opportunity to give you people thanks. After our last meeting, the last discussion we had on the verb to do, the lesson we had, I sought your counsel. And in fact, the counsel has come in multiple folds. Yes, people have given me the kind of morale that any human being could ever get. And I say, for that, thank you very much. Now, before we even start today's episode, I would like for us to have a recap of what we discussed the last time with regards to the verb to do, the auxiliary verb. Today again, when I was walking the streets, I overheard somebody. He said, if you knew you were not going to date, why did you tell me? I was like, why? Why did you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? Please, what should be the correct form? The person said, why didn't you tell me? So what should be the correct form? With regards to the last lesson or our previous lesson on the verb to do, we shouldn't forget that we are saying, or we said that when the verb to do is used as a helping verb, the main verb should be in the bare infinitive form. So I was expecting the person to say, yes. Are you getting it? Get it? Why didn't you tell me so? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Well, let's quickly dive into today's discussion. Today we're going to look at the verb to have, the auxiliary have. Okay, now first of all, have has many forms, but for the purpose of our discussion today, we are going to look at 3 forms of the verb to have, the auxiliary verb to have. It has many uses, but we're going to limit ourselves to about 3. Yes. First of all, let's discuss the forms of the verb have. The first one is has. Have is the second, and the past tense form of has have is had. Had. So H-A-S, has, H-A-V-E, have, H-A-D, had. Now, let us look at the verbs that match each particular form of the verb to have. Let's start with has. Okay, guess what? Which type of subject matches the verb has? Guess it? Guess it? I'm giving you 3 seconds. Did you say the third person singular subject? Then if you said so, you are correct. Of course, the third person singular subjects, which are the, first of all, I'll talk about the pronouns. He, she, it. These ones are the ones that go with has. So we say, he has, she has, it has. And we shouldn't forget that there are other pronouns which do not belong to the personal pronouns, okay? For example, everyone, anyone, somebody. Somebody has. Everyone has. Is that okay? Alright. Okay. Now, aside the pronouns, singular nouns also match with has. Singular nouns, for example, Obed. Obed has. The cat has. Is that okay? The new headmistress has. So singular nouns also take the auxiliary verb has. Let us quickly go into have. The auxiliary verb have. H-A-V, have. The subjects that match with have include 1. Plural subjects. Plural subjects, which are, with the pronouns we have you, we, they. We, you, they. We, you, they. We have, you have, they have. Alright, now let us also bring to our understanding that aside the plural pronouns, there are special pronouns that also match with have, and these include I, you. I have, you have. Do not think because I is singular, you say I has. You, the singular form, if you are referring to one person, you say you has. No, that is wrong structure. That is wrong English. Alright? So, I have, you have, they have, we have, you have. Alright. Now, the last form of the verb to have we are going to talk about for this particular episode is HAD. 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 Had is the past tense form and the past participle form of has and have. So, as I said in the previous video with regards to the verb do, we established that did is a past tense form of does and do, and it does not regard subject. It is not subject specific. No. The same applies to had. So all forms of subjects can take had. So let's start from the singular subjective pronouns, singular nouns, and then go to plural pronouns, special pronouns, plural nouns. They all take had. So he had, she had, it had, everyone had, each of you had, we had, they had. Alright, now that we know the subjects that match which forms of the verb to have, let us look at the rule. There's a particular rule that we have to be conscious of, which is, ruining us, haunting us. Now, the rule states that when you use the verb to have as a helping verb, the next verb in a string of verbs, when I say string of verbs, I am not talking of when you decide to list verbs like go, do, eat. No, I'm talking of verbs 2, 3, or 4 which come together for one purpose. So I can have in a sentence 3 verbs which are there to express just one tense or to talk about one thing. For example, I, subject, have been calling. Here we have 3 verbs: have, been, and calling. So that is what I mean by string of verbs. Alright, now in a string of verbs, when you use have, has, had as a helping verb, the next verb, in most cases, it can be the main verb. In other cases too, we can have another auxiliary. So the have, has, had will be an auxiliary to another auxiliary. Okay. In another instance too, we can have only the verb to have form and the main verb. In that case, what we have to be conscious of is that whenever we use the verb to have and its forms as helping verb, the main verb should be in the ed participle. Somebody is wondering, what is the ed participle? Now, the ed participle is the third form of the verb. We say way back in school, we would be asked to recite this particular verb table. We turned it into a poem, something like that. The English teacher will come in and ask, arise. Then you stand up. Arise, arose, arising. Good. Yeah, go, went, gone. 2 claps. Then the one who will not be lucky enough to get something like broadcast. The person will be like, broadcasted. And then a particular teacher that loves caning will just go on with the whip or the cane